class, everyone gather around for story time.
Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. We're going to all go sit.
Everyone on the mat. Story time.
Come on, guys. Everyone sit Indian style. Story time.
I'll stand. Today we're going to have Jonathan read us a story.
Come on, guys.
Jonathan's going to be reading a story about minding your manners.
Hello, class. Today I'll be reading Eliza, Mind Your Manners.
Everyone say hello to Jonathan. Hi,
Jonathan.
Once upon a time, there was a poor girl named Eliza who lived in England. She didn't know a thing about manners. She spoke with a harsh accent, never saying please or thank you. And with no friends or family to turn to, she had to make a living for herself. One stormy night, while selling flowers, Eliza met two men, Mr. Higgins, and Colonel Pickering. Mr. Higgins was a very smart, but sometimes a very rude man. He knew all about manners and speaking well. He even taught English to others. But sometimes, even Mr. Higgins forgot to use manners himself. Now, Colonel Pickering was a kind gentleman who also taught English. Mr. Higgins, Pickering, and Eliza would soon become great friends. The very next day, Eliza went to Mr. Higgins' house. "I'm here for my lesson, and I'm willing to pay for them," said Eliza. Higgins and Pickering just looked at one another in surprise for a few seconds until Higgins finally said, "Will you be saying please and thank you any time soon, Miss Eliza Doolittle?" blurted out Eliza before Higgins could finish his sentence. Mr. Higgins and Pickering realized that this was the girl from the night before who had been trying to sell them flowers. "It will be a tough job," said Pickering. "In fact, I bet you can't even do it, Higgins." Higgins chuckled and said, "You're on, Pick." That was his nickname for Pickering. Now, Miss Pierce was the housekeeper. She took all of Eliza's old dirty clothes and burned them in the fireplace. She made sure Eliza had new clothes, new shoes, and good food to eat. Before she knew it, Eliza had moved into Mr. Higgins' home and began her lessons. Now it was time to teach Eliza some manners. One day, Mr. Higgins was getting upset at Eliza for not saying words correctly, so he yelled and made her cry. "I'm going home," cried Eliza, wiping the tears away on her sleeve. Mr. Higgins kindly offered her his handkerchief and said, "This is your handkerchief, and that is your sleeve. Don't mistake one for the other if you wish to become a lady." Eliza eventually stopped crying and kept on with her lessons. "Eliza, mind your manners," was always heard around the Higgins household. Oh, there was a picture there, sorry. Working hard every day, Eliza got better and better. Higgins and Pickering were very proud of their progress and decided they needed to give Eliza a test. They took Eliza to visit Mr. Higgins' mother, who was a very proper lady. Eliza did very well with talking about the weather. She even kept up with the many different conversations that were going on. When Eliza got off track, all it took was a gentle whisper from Pick, just, "Eliza, mind your manners." Finally, on the day of her final test, the two gentlemen took Eliza to a ball. There she was to speak with royalty. Eliza felt very confident, knowing just the proper things to say. All that was left was to see if she could mind her manners. Eliza performed perfectly at the ball. She was even compared to a duchess, which is the highest of all compliments. When they had gotten home from the ball, Eliza looked very upset. Higgins and Pickering were so busy going on and on about their success in teaching her that they completely ignored her. All this time they had taught her please, thank you, and excuse me, and now it was their turn to thank her, but they had seemed to have forgotten all about minding their own manners. Later that night, Pickering went to bed as Eliza sat by herself in the office. She felt so lonely. Even with the success of her training, she was sad and discouraged because of the way that Mr. Higgins and Pickering had treated her that night. Just when Eliza felt her worst, Higgins yelled out, "Eliza, turn off that light and give me my slippers!" Eliza, not being able to control herself, quickly snapped back, "Get them yourself, Higgins!" Eliza was so confused and could not understand why Eliza would behave this way.
Get them yourself.
As Eliza began to cry, Mr. Higgins realized that he had been very rude to her all night. Mr. Higgins called Pickering downstairs so they could both apologize to Eliza for treating her so badly. "Now, Eliza, would you please turn off the lights and hand me my slippers?" said Higgins with a smile. "Why, certainly, Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins," responded Eliza with a wink. And they went off to bed. The end.
Great job, Jonathan. You deserve a sticker.
Thank you.
Yes.
One sticker.
Well, let's get you a sticker.
Thank you, class, for letting me share this story. Eliza, mind your manners with you today. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves.
Back to your seats. Who wants a sticker?
You have to hand out stickers.
Which one you want? You're special.